see. Today we're going to be on the monitor. Usually I don't like being on the monitor. It does give me a bit of some headaches, but I have to be on the monitor today with some things we need to really look up close, and some things we need to talk about. Now, I did a demonstration yesterday called, I think it was white versus gray. Um, why we feel, and again, like I said, I've been back since 10 years back. I've been back since quite a long time making gray screen paint products. So when I saw Diamond's technology for the first time displayed against my screen, I knew exactly where the more advanced technology was going to be heading. And that was the direction that my company needed to go. But today, if you look at gray screens, they really don't show much of a difference next to a white screen. And for those people who may have darker gray screen paint products, these are products that are not tested. Because again, when you make a screen darker, there is a number of things that can go wrong with that screen. One of the things that have to be tested when you're doing a darker gray screen, you have to understand that there is more black paint being put into this product, which means this is an element that doesn't have the ability to be able to see and understand white light. So this is also too going to plague your product, and it's also too going to drop your white levels dramatically, which means you have to show exactly where the white levels are going to lay, and you have to do this in an extremely well-lit environment. Not only that, you have to do this on different calibers of projectors, especially low lumen projectors. You have to do this on. So at one point, like I said, the gray screen was considered to be the top screen. Not anymore, it's not. Due to the fact you have screens that are much darker, like I showed you yesterday with the gunmetal. Gunmetals can pull a contrast level, gray screen won't see it. So the only reason why the gray screen exists is because the gunmetal screens are extremely expensive. But now you have a black technology, again, that's better than gunmetal, which we've proven multiple times. It's far more superior than a gray screen because a gray screen can't read, can't pick up contrast. It's not ambient light rejection technology, will not work on this product. And again, as I said before, it's outdated. So we have a black technology, yeah, a lot more than the price of a gray screen because it's not a gray screen. It doesn't fit in this category. But it's a lot lesser than the gunmetal technology. So the black screen is going to be the more superior technology because it pulls the highest contrast. When you're talking about projection screens, it doesn't come down which one pulls the highest white level. They always talk about the contrast. Then the color. That's what they talk about. If you look at projectors today compared to what they were when I was coming up, projectors now have insane amount of contrast levels attached to them because people who make those machines know how important it is to have those black levels. So this is the reason why you have projectors that have 2 million to 1, that have 1800, that have a 500,000 contrast considered the projectors. And I have a lot of older projectors that are 3,000, 2,000, some are like maybe about 5,000. Now, when these gunmetal screens or my screens didn't exist, Black Diamond didn't exist, you had gray screens. And the improvement you saw over a gray screen versus a white screen, you saw a slight bit of better color and a slight better contrast. On top of that, it does hold a little better in an ambient light controlled environment. Not ambient light environment, we have all this light, it doesn't work that well. Now that you have an advancement in technology and projection screens, we have gunmetal technology. If you look at daylight screens, if you look at elite screens, if you look at where Diamond's always been making dark screens, you will notice that if you contact these companies, do your research, you will find out their most advanced technology is dark, extremely dark. Now, again, I can't express this enough. For those people that are making gray paints, if you think at the end of the day, if you make your product darker, this fixes a problem, no, it does not. This means now that product, first of all your products should be tested. All of them, every last one of them. And all tests should be displayed and they should be done live. But A gray screen, once it becomes darker, the problem is that laser that screen is its white levels will start to drop dramatically. And because of this, it needs to be tested. It has to prove that the screen can maintain a decent white level in a fully lit environment, and it must do it on different calibers of projectors. If you do not see these tests being done, then that's a product that's untested and will not work. As I hate to mention people's names, but it's a fellow who makes this product called the UV mix, and a customer got this and was extremely ticked off because, again, he or she saw no difference in the product. But actually, they did. It didn't make any difference. Their basement actually, I don't know what color their basement was. I would really like to find that out. But their basement actually did a better job than the screen paint. You know why? Because screen paint wasn't properly tested. Can't give people information on a product that you don't even know anything about. That's why I'm going to be doing some stuff today. We're going to talk about website versus website, or how much information can you get off one website versus another. We're going to look at all of them, not just one of them. So let's get back to the gray and white. So like I said, at that particular time, the gray screen was considered to be a valuable screen due to the fact it had no other competition. Now you have gunmetal that pops up, much more advanced, pulls a better contrast levels, maintains its white levels, all that good stuff. Gunmetal is just very expensive technology. So not everybody can have it. And the people who can't have it, they will go near the gray screens. Again, they're still plagued with the same problem with the white screen. Can't be used in a fully lit environment because you can't perform like gunmetal technology. So now you have something more to compare it to. Can a gray screen perform like gunmetal? No, it doesn't even have the capabilities of the ambient light projection technology embedded to do it. So no. Can it perform like a black screen? Oh, heck no, it can. Black screens are technology under our black technology, under everybody else's, but we can perform in fully lit environments. We have dozens and dozens and dozens. We have the most ambient light projection demonstrations all over YouTube, displaying screens being displayed outside. I'm going to tell you something interesting. So I went to go pick up a new phone yesterday. Oh, I got two of them now. We can do that back-to-back recording and all that crazy stuff. But anyway, I picked up another cell phone for work. I was in the AT&T store. I set my phones up under business accounts because it's a tax write-off. So I go in and I'm talking to the fellow, and he asks me what I do for a living. I develop a black screen paint that allows for screens to actually be to generate in fully lit environments. See, that's the problem that you have with great products. You can't be in that establishment. You ever walk into an AT&T store and see how much light they got popping off in that environment? It's extremely bright. But guess what? My technology can thrive in that environment because we can pick up outside without a problem. So the manager comes over and he's curious about this black technology we're talking about. He takes a look into the camera and he sees a screen at 150 inches generating a solid blue screen outside. The first thing they ask is, not if it's black paint, they ask what kind of projector it is. Because usually in establishments such like themselves, they have to spend the money for extremely expensive projectors in order to get the screen to pull. Oh, that right there, that's a $270 Chrissy projector, an old model. They go to look it up, find out how old the projector is. They are actually blown away. The reason why we don't use expensive projectors in our demonstrations is because we can show the customer or consumer at the end of the day that he or she doesn't have to spend a lot of money for a projector just to get the screen to function. Where in great products, you have to buy these projectors because, again, you'll be lacking in contrast. You definitely will be lacking in color. And after all that mess you go through, you still got to calibrate and be stuck in dark environments. If that was the case, I can go on YouTube right now and find demonstrations to match charts. As a matter of fact, we are going to make a video today called Match or Better Our Ambient Light Environments. Multi-screen setup, not one. Now, it's going to be a bit of a rough one for a lot of people. Anyway, so them looking at the recording, they were blown away by it. Because I told you, the normal is that if you buy a projector, you're going to be on a white or gray screen. All the demonstrations that people watch, they're all in the dark. That's considered to be, people think that's the normal. And then you watch my demonstrations and I'm fired up in a fully lit environment on multiple displays. This is why you need test demonstrations. This is why you have to be able to prove your products on every level. I showed them the sunbather. They were freaking blown away by that. I can basically take a projector, stick it outside on a ledge at 1,000 lumens, let it get hit by sunlight, let it push through, it was about 4 feet to the window, and then another 13 feet to the screen, and still maintain with a lamp in the center of that, a star field, something that a gray and white screen will never ever be able to achieve. So they're all over our website right now. AT&T managers are all through my website right now. They're sharing it with their CEOs, and they're actually interested in the technology. This is what I mean by the network. We're going to be networking. We'll be doing offline. And I got to get business cards, because every store we walked into, and I showed them the ad tech technology, they made it push those images through glass, sun killer capabilities to be able to absorb sunlight. Yeah, companies are interested in that, because they spend a lot of money on those LCD screens. Are really freaking expensive, and they use a lot of power. And the first thing they were asking is, how much power does the projector use? They can run those screens 24/7, and it's not going to cost them any power at all. And they can get mass-up displays. On top of that, they need to pick up the contrast levels. They don't want the screens to wash out or fade. You can't stick a gray screen in an environment like that. You can barely make it in an ambient light controlled environment. That's why that product is obsolete. And to go with a Black Diamond or any one of those companies, you're talking about $5,000 projection screen at 100 inches. What if they want to customize the screen? Because the guy was like, what if we want to just paint the entire wall on this side and we want to set the projectors up? What about that? Yeah, you can set that up with no problem. You can't go out and do a customized Black Diamond or certified screen, because the problem you're going to have with that customization is going to cost you a ton of money. See? That's why I told you. And the guy sat there and said, you know what, this stuff is worth millions of dollars. Because you have a technology now, and they're fascinated the fact that it can pull in a fully lit environment. Now, let's get back to this gray and white screen thing here. Again, as I said before, there's no benefit. You can't upgrade your screen with a gray screen paint, because again, what you are receiving at the end of the day is old technology. As I said before, it's still going to have the same problems. You're still going to be stuck in a dark environment, and you will be calibrating. For the individual who made the UV mix, perfect example. Your customers, every single one that I saw was stuck in a dark environment. My customers, well, they're all in fully lit environments. Some of them even outside in the daytime. So it tells you right there that the product basically is an old, obsolete product. So this is a demonstration I saw. I was looking up white versus gray. These have been done all over YouTube. This is the difference between a white and gray screen. You see a difference? Because there isn't any. There's a slight little hiccup. The problem is you have to be right up on top of the screen in order to see the difference. At a distance, you're not going to see jack. They both look exactly the same. That's why I did the demonstration on the 5000 on the Chrissy yesterday by swiveling the projector back and forth from a black screen over to a gray screen. Now, again, I can't express this enough. For those of you who feel that, well, I can make the product darker, I can make it darker, and this was showing improvement. No, you're going to have problems here. See, the problem with gray screen paint products is if you drop more black paint into it, what's going to happen is you're going to drop your white levels. And this means your screen now has to be tested a little bit higher than basically the normal test that you would do with a gray screen, which means you're going to have to test those white levels and make sure those white levels are producing properly and not dirty. That's what you're going to have to do. And there's a ton of tests behind that on testing screens. If you don't have the time or effort to test your products, then don't make it darker, because it's going to run into more tests. For those of you who have like light gray screens, which I see mostly light gray screens because they want to pull a higher white level, they want to pull better color. I can't express this to you enough. Because your screen pulls a higher white level doesn't mean it pulls better color. It means your color washes out even faster. That's why you have to calibrate. That's why. And that's why you're stuck in an ambient light controlled environment, so you can control how much light makes contact with the screen, so that way you can better advance your color levels. And if I'm lying here, then you have no problem doing what we're going to call today the gray and white screen challenge for everybody who makes a gray screen paint. Show us a massive, significant change when you actually paint a white screen with a gray product. I want to see that today. It's not a hard demonstration. I'm pretty sure you got a white sheet of paper hanging around there somewhere in the house, so just stick it to your screen and show me a difference. Because I've seen what happened with the Valve screen. The Valve is a $700 to $1,000 screen, and that screen clearly matched a $69 eBay projection screen. That's pretty bad. So, curiosity, how many of you products out here, can match a white sheet of paper and show a massive difference? We don't want to see people walking. If you walk over to that screen, you're a finger distance from the screen trying to explain, you have failed already. Because the customer's not going to sit that close to the screen. Never. So this is what I found fascinating about these demonstrations right here. And these are pretty good sized screens. Now, like I said, before the look at this for a minute. Before the newer technology came out, like gunmetal and all that stuff, yeah, the gray screen, basically, you could see the slight little improvement. I can see the slight little improvement just by looking at this because I've done this so many times. It's slightly a little bit darker here. It's a little lighter here, but there's no big change when you think about it. So let me get this straight. This is a screen that would probably cost you like $50. And this is a screen that you probably pay like $250, $300 for. I've seen gray screen paint cost that much. It ain't much of a difference. Even if that right there is $20 and that's $60, still really not seeing much of a difference at all. But back then, before you had gunmetal, before you had black technology, this actually was considered to be the advanced screen because it showed a slight little better difference than the white screen. But now you have black technology. Now you have gunmetal, darker screens. Again, guess what? This and this becomes obsolete. It's just basic, simple math. It's basic, simple. When you talk about advancements in business, the same thing with 4K and pixel shifting. There's a difference definitely between the two. Only problem is you definitely will pay more, actually the same price that you would pay for a pixel shift projector as you would pay sometimes even more for a projector that's native 4K. I don't get how people do that one at the end of the day. But anyway, this is what you're getting. So if my theory is wrong, and this is the thing I can't understand. Oh, this is crazy. This is what I don't understand. When I put this out here, this is my theory, all right? It ain't like at the end of the day, I don't know what I'm talking about. I can go back and show you in my archives. I can pull screen paint stuff way before anybody else was making them, and great products before anybody was making them. I can back up everything I say, every little thing I say. And instead of these people, individuals, we know it's only two people that act like this. The rest of them don't act like this. They're professionals. But instead of you basically lashing out, getting angry, getting upset, screaming and yelling, doing fake videos on our products, how about you do back up exactly, or basically prove me wrong? How about you do that? Take that white sheet of paper, stick it on your screen, and show me. Show us the difference. But not only, that's the first stage, people. That's the first stage of whether or not you're getting an upgrade. Second stage of showing that the screen betters than others is gray products. And this is something they don't want to hear. We're talking about Sherwin-Williams. I'm not talking about one person, I'm talking about everybody. Sherwin-Williams. We're talking about the Network Gray 773. You know, we're the ones who actually found that product. We're the ones who started pushing that product. And then everybody's scared of that product. We have another product under the Slip Silver Amazon Micro Blend that needs to be done against these products. So that way you know that you don't have to worry about at the end of the day getting cheated. So let's go on with this right here. There's not much of a difference between a gray and white screen. They're both almost similar to the same thing. Not much at all. Now, like I said, before the art technology came out, before the gunmetal screens came out, yeah, people, saw a little difference there because there was nothing else more advanced to compare it to. Now you got more advanced technology, pretty much this is obsolete now. This is why when I go to forum sites and I watch people with beautiful, amazing setups, lights out, you wouldn't be able to tell one from the other. That's virtually impossible. Lights on, because basically the gray screen can pick up a little bit better. But lights off, you won't be able to tell the difference. I'll tell you what's more shocking. And we're going to do that demonstration here. We want to take white screen, gray screen, And we're going to take slip silver and put them all together. And I bet you couldn't tell which one was which. You wouldn't be to tell. You're definitely not going to be to tell the gray screen paint from the household paint. You wouldn't be to pick it up. This is why those tests need to be done. Now again, those of you who are upset by what I said, and you can email me, curse me out, whatever you want. At the end of the day, it doesn't make a difference. You still got to do the test. It doesn't stop anything. You still have to do the test. No matter what, you're going to have to do them. And if you refuse to do these tests, people will see it. And yes, I'm educating the customer on what to ask for. I'm telling the customer at the end of the day, anytime you're dealing with the gray screen, or even if you're dealing with our black technology, or any black technology, you need to request tests. Make sure that these tests are all dated before the product was sold. This shows that the product you're receiving has been properly tested. If someone gives you that poor, stupid excuse that all testing is done by the customers, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I have never purchased anything that I had before me, even my asthma inhaler. I'm sorry, I don't have asthma, but my inhaler for my lung disease, I have never heard of at the end of the day, hey, Mr. Bird, we're going to say, you get this right here, but we never tested this. You have to test this. You know how crazy that sounds at the end of the day? You kidding me? You mean to tell me I got to test this and tell you what happens? I got to write down a log or whatever you want me to do to tell you the outcome of what this thing will probably do to me? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. That's a poor excuse. No, AKA, that means I am too lazy to go in and do the test, or I'm cheating the daylights out of my consumers and I don't want to do the test and fear that I may fail. You know why? Because this is what happens when you hype a product up and you can't back it up. That's what happens. That's why they don't want to come on camera. So no, there's no excuse for it. So for the customer, this is why we arm you with that information. And I'm not talking about just for them, us too. Anybody at the end of the day, anybody request those tests to make sure the product was tested. One of the tests you need to request is what's the difference between, if you got a white screen, you want to upgrade it, what kind of advancements can your product do from a white screen? I don't want to hear you say it. I want to see these tests. Pull them up. Let me see what you got. Or, most importantly of all tests, you want to know the difference between the product and everyday gray household paints. This could save you a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of headache. The reason why I say headache, because again, and I'm not lying, is right there. You can go look at yourself. If you feel I'm lying, you go pop over to the website, do your research yourself. Clearly it states in the policy for shipping and return under this particular individual, you will not get an exchange. You will not get a return if it lands on your property. That's one of them. Second one, if you open this container, you get no returns at all, period, or you don't get your money back. That's pretty messed up. If you don't believe me, you read it to yourself. Go to the website, do the research yourself. I'm a little tired of going over to the website because the website has, it's weird. But we've already proven our point on that. We now invite the consumer to go there themselves. Go have a look around, read through those, whatever information you have in there, and you compare it to other sites, because that's what you should be doing. If you take the time out, put it this way, if you take the time out to put the research in your projector, you need to take the time out to put the research into your screen. You do know that just because you think your projector has millions of colors and has an insane amount of contrast attached to it, you do know that none of this will work if you don't have a proper screen. That screen will make or break your setup. It will mean the difference between whether you can see 100% black, beautiful colors, and you can maintain a fully lit environment without the screen having any issues. So you need to basically, like I said in the day, do more research on your screens. And I say that all the time. Your customers who get, especially at Best Buy, which is pretty bad. I was at Best Buy, I told you one time, and I watched the guy sell this guy an Epson projector, and he sold him a white screen with it. And so don't worry about it. You know what I mean? This projector has all these colors and it has contrast, and you're going to see all this right on your screen. That's a lie. Now, someone walked in as an expert, you can't sell me that at the end of the day because I already know from the door. And this is what they expect at the end of the day. They don't want you to ask those questions. They don't want you to know what we just told you. We armed you with information. They don't want you to ask these questions because most of them have never did the test by doing a gray screen versus a product. And again, when they do the white screen comparison, it's the same thing. You hear that click going off in the background? Listen, hold on. You might hear it. It popped a few times. That would be Jamie right now on our account, upset and angry. He gets very upset when we talk about this, when we give customers ammunition on basically how, if I pronounce it incorrect, I do apologize. But he gets customers we weaponize customers with the knowledge to be able and to know what to ask for when it comes to a product. I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to go to this is my messaging area. Sad but true, this is what this fellow does. Now, you see right here, we have 12 messages right here. That is Jamie Fernando Gonzalez. We don't like to bring his name up in conversations, but he has some problems, some very serious issues. And anytime we talk about the consumer needs to ask these questions, he becomes extremely agitated and upset. This is one of the worst scammers I've ever seen on YouTube. One of the worst. This is the reason why we arm you with that information, because you got to be to deal with people like this at the end of the day that will not do test demonstrations on their products, nor do they have any testing. They have false information. What was I just talking about a few minutes ago? Oh, the shipping policy, how it's a scam. Who pops in and gets upset the minute I talk about that? That's what I'm talking about. He's a sad individual. This is what we do. He sent us, and this is, I told you, he's a bit of a stalker. He sent us 12 messages in 16 minutes. That's how creepy this guy is. Told you, we got a stalking charge against this individual. Now, he sent 12 messages in 16 minutes. Let me show you what happens to your messages, Jamie. See that right there? That's it. You went through all that to send all that information over, and for what? Just to get it blocked. We don't read that stuff. It never gets read. We know who you are when you come over. So your information is removed, reported as spam. That's it. See? Weird, I told you. This guy will film me inside my apartment. Very, and talk about my shirt. Who does that in screen paint? Very, very weird individual. You need help, Jamie. You really, really need help. Look, man, as I said before, instead of you getting upset with me because I'm giving your customers information, because I'm giving everybody information at the end of the day. Instead of you getting upset with me, how about you go in and you back your product? That's it. If someone comes up there and says, hey, you know, Kenny's product is blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that, guess what Kenny's doing? Kenny's going to go out there and back his product. Kenny's not only going to back my product, but I'm going to blow out a couple of certified screens while I do it. Like, what was it about the tablecloth nonsense? What did I do? Did I go send a bunch of emails and ranting? Did I make a bunch of memes? No. What I did is I went out and I got a high professional black surface. I went back and showed demonstrations going back to the 7s. I took all our test demonstrations and I posted them at the bottom of our marketplace so our customers can see all our test demonstrations on our site. I back it up. I don't go whining and crying and sending people tons of emails. I don't have time for that. I'm a businessman. I don't have time for that nonsense. Oh, they're getting a kick out of the new stuff we put on the Black Shop. They're in love with the website. You gotta do, like I said, people are gonna put in to their websites and their business. If they're real serious and they don't take it as a joke, and if they're taking their products as a joke and their business as a joke, then they take you as a joke. But look at this. Now see this at the bottom? These are demonstrations of our products versus black paint, black fabric, and everything else you could possibly think of is right down there. Our stuff is posted to our website, including all our tests. We have a demonstration on 1,000 projectors. We have links in all our shopping carts. That's one of the things as companies notice when they go through our site. We're chock full of information for our customers. We go to their websites, we don't find any testing, no gray versus gray, nothing. So instead of you getting upset with me and getting angry with me at the end of the day for basically telling your customers what to ask for when they buy your products, and if this is making it rough for you to sell a product, then that means you need to go back and test your stuff and make a better product. That's what you should be doing. Lashing out at me and being angry at me is not going to help you at all. I'm still going to tell you customers at the end of the day, or any customers, even my customers, I'm going to tell them this is what you should be requesting. You know, you want to go around calling people scammers, but you sound more like the scammer because you're upset because we're arming people with information. And we're not bothered by it. We got it right there. So that's what upsets him. He doesn't want, the perfect customer for these guys is someone that doesn't know jack and won't ask questions. But we're arming them with how to speak and what to ask for. First thing you ask for, test demonstrations. And all test demonstrations should be stamped before the product was sold. Second, what's the difference between the products and everyday household paints? Tablecloths. You don't want to see one demonstration. You want to see dozens of demonstrations on every level, different caliber projectors, different environments. Heck, it'd be nice if they even painted to the screen for fun. This is what you need to see before you put a dime down on any of these products. And like I said, I could easily go in and send you tons of emails ranting and carrying on and all that blah, 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 but I don't. You know what I did? I've done this dozens of times on camera. I took a professional, like I said, black surface. I took Black Magic, I hate the name of that, and I took Dynasty Black. I put both of those against my screen and 2 sheets of black paper. Not only did I blow out that whole entire fabric nonsense, but I also did black paint and 2 sheets of paper at the same time. I don't understand this individual at the end of the day, and I don't choose to and don't care. We're suing this individual. He's going to court this summer. That's what I found out. Our court date's coming up this summer, so he'll be in court soon. And then we'll be rid of this nonsense. Because apparently he does not act right. But that is the reason why, perfect example, reason why we request for customers to ask these questions because of that individual. He's a perfect example. He's a perfect poster child for why that needs to be done. And I'll tell you why. This is a perfect example. And he's going to rant over this. We don't care. Perfect example why you need to request these tests and why these products should be tested. Because this individual was caught multiple times not only selling products that were just basic black and white paints. That's kind of jacked up. He's paying $60 for something you literally could have just sat there and made for free. This is why you need to request these tests. Demonstrations of products matching house paint. This is a crazy demonstration because we're the ones who started the network grade 773. That was us. It's the first test that was ever done against his products. There's his Cinemax. There's his Metallica Mix. They all match. Metallica Mix matches the network grade 773. The Personal Mix, we had them all in here. That's what you're seeing right there in the display. Personal Mix, Metallica Mix 2.0, and Cinemax. And there's network grade 773. It matched. And I sat there on camera before this demonstration was ever done. What did I say? I said, this is not going to go well. He's going to have to fight really hard to try to beat this product. 6 months to a year later, he did the demonstration, and this is what happened. Exactly what I said was going to happen. You matched it. So this is the reason why, if your product was properly tested, if you had proper tests, you would have been able to avoid this. Because when you did the demonstration, you would have known 100% that your product wasn't going to match the house paint. Just like I can take a black surface, I can stick that right against my screen. I can take fabric and hoodies, even my own movie chair, and stick that against my screen. And it doesn't match because I did the test, a lot of tests. Hey, what's going on? Your window's open, you know that, right? So with this right here, this is the reason why you have to ask about doing side-by-side demonstrations next to white paper. You have to ask about what's the difference in your product and other paints out there, because you can be saving yourself a lot of money. You're not saving hundreds, you're losing hundreds of dollars. These are screenshots. Oh, we found the other video. There's two of these. We actually found the other one. We found two of these. There's another one. We'll bring that up. This is the match. Do you have any idea how much the network grade 773, the SW, cost? It's like $30 a gallon. Even at dropping its price at 60 bucks, it's 2 gallons you can wash. Like 2 gallons and 2 quarts to 2 gallons and, sorry, 1 gallon and 3 quarts that you can walk off with. That's unacceptable. And that's the reason why we request for customers, is the reason why we tell you when we do these demonstrations, there's no difference between a white screen and a gray screen. They both do the exact same thing. Look how close the camera is. You should never ever be that close to a screen. Now, Jamie, again, I can't express this enough to you. This is not in retaliation for anything. It really isn't. This is a perfect example why screen paints have to be tested. Perfect example why customers need to request what is the difference between that product and anything I can pick up at Home Depot or at Lowe's that I can buy it myself. The specifications that you have under the personal mix are completely fake, because now this product match. And because of this, any person who pretty much, you may have a rival or whatever they may be, we're not your rival at the end of the day. We don't consider you to be in our world, so you don't exist to us. But anyone you have a rival in gray screen paint products can literally knock you out by just basically improving the bare silver screen and overtake your product easily. That's pretty much what you just displayed in the demonstration. Now, for those of you who didn't get cheated in this nonsense yet, think about the people who bought this product right here, believing what this man said out of his mouth to find out that this happened. And then what happens if they want to get an exchange? What happens if they're going to get their money back? Well, let's go back to the policy. What does the policy say? All right, then, there you go. Even walked out of a Home Depot with the container in hand. Oh, by the way, this video is missing. It's no longer being found. We actually recorded a copy. If you look at the top of the video, we recorded a copy for that particular reason, because we knew the video would go missing, and it did. This is pretty bad. When I showed you with the apple and the white surface, I guarantee you that my gray screen I have in here, my wall, will match this product. Guarantee it would match. That's bare silver screen. This is Cinemax. This is a product he's showing off right now. This is house paint. You can do that with freaking bare silver. No, I'm sorry, network grade 773. This is why, again, why products need to be tested. This is, Jamie is the perfect example on why. And the reason why is because this is an extremely bold cheater at the end of the day. If someone's that bold at the end of the day, they would cheat you out of anything on the face of the planet. Was this product removed from the website after it matched? No, it still continues to sell on the website. Does he stop doing videos on his product? No, he still continues to do videos on his product as if it never even happened, as if this doesn't even exist. That's extremely bold. Personal mix is still active. He still sells it. It's right there on the website. This is why we suggest all customers, even ask us at the end of the day, test demonstrations on all screen paint products before they were launched. Also, too, side-by-side comparisons versus gray house paints. Now, again, everybody sits up there and they say at the end of the day, well, you know, I'm glad it wasn't me. So what about the customers that did go fall into this mess? What about them? That's why we seriously believe that this person may have some kind of mental problems at the end of the day. Because who does this? I have never met anyone get busted in a live stream or get busted. This actually was a live stream. Get busted. Usually, if someone gets busted, they pull the product as fast as possible. They try to issue some kind of damage control, an apology, something for their customers. This guy didn't do any of this at all. He acts like it never even happened. That's not good. Now, I'm not going to go to the website. I've been there dozens of times. It ain't about that. It's up to you to do that. It's your money at the end of the day. It's not mine. You worked for it. Then you need to go do the research. Go pop over to his website. Go see if the Cinemax and the 2.0 is still being sold on his website. You go look around in there and you see exactly if everything's done correctly as it should be. What I feel, when we don't see a lot of his customers, and the reason why we don't see a lot of his customers speak out about the product, because again, they're embarrassed. Who in their right mind, say right now you're one of his customers and you bought the Cinemax. How in the world are you going to come up and speak about a product and back it up if there's a video of this? It just clearly shows at the end of the day, either you were a victim or if you already knew, you just basically got robbed at the end of the day. So we already know what happened to his customers at the end of the day from watching this. What about those of you who got the personal mix? What can you say? Nothing. You can't go do a video praising this man's work at the end of the day. You got gagged at the end of the day. And for those of you who didn't know, you became victims too. Did you get your money back? Did you get, oh, you didn't get any of that because of the policy on his website. Clearly states what he does to his customers. There you go. So you can't get on camera and say, well, I got this. We know you didn't get anything because it's right there stated. So if he does give back exchange, if he does give people his money back because it may match a gray wall or bed sheet or whatever, then why is that policy on the website to begin with? I guess those people that are threatening him, take him to court or whatever. Let me tell you something. Let's get for real here. The reason why you can't take him to court on this, and I'll tell you why. The court cost, literally alone, is going to cost you more than what you're trying to get out of him. You have to take him to small claims court. That's what you're taking. But $60, your court cost is going to cost you more than $60. So again, he knows this already. So what can you do about it? Nothing at all. What you can do is basically just go back out, buy something else that's going to work much better than this product. That's what you have to do. Just learn the valuable lesson in life. That's what you learned. Make sure before you buy products, make sure they're tested. Make sure the person can back them up. So that way you don't end up in that situation, lose $60 or $90 on a product. Now, if you can show something where, all right, you painted this product down, he convinced you it was going to work, you had an expo or some kind of big event and you use this and this screen completely washed out and this costs you thousands of dollars, oh, that's a different story. Now you can take them to court because then you're suing them for a lot more than basically the trying to get the money back. Now, again, there's other ways too. You can always go through PayPal. I'm an expert on that field. I won every single PayPal claim against him. I've never lost one. PayPal has been through his website multiple times, and they themselves has declared his website to be a scam site. Number one, the shipping policy. You can literally use that against them because PayPal will not honor the shipping policy due to the fact that the shipping policy has nothing there to support or help the customer in any way whatsoever. It is strictly designed to take from the customer. Another thing I had to add to real quick is to Fernando, why do you get so upset when I show off these things? He gets very, very upset when I show these demonstrations off. You made them. No one put a gun to your head and said, hey, you have to make these demonstrations. They have to be done. You made these demonstrations. But this is a perfect example. A perfect example why the consumer, he or she, has to go out and ask for these tests to be done, or they should be already done. And you need to be to see the difference. Not only with white screens, but you need to see the difference with other gray products. So let me get this straight. If I take Bear, if I take Network Gray, if I take Bullseye Primer, or whatever gray stuff I can find it today, which one of those screens is going to pull the best color, the best contrast, it's going to do best and well? You need to see all that. Or you're going to end up with this fiasco. Do these videos exist? People said, where can I find this video? You won't find this video. It was removed off. He removed it off his account and marked it under private. So even he himself has acknowledged that his product is matching. Got no problem with people asking me these questions at all, period. Knock yourself out. The backers, when they came in here and they were looking at the screen, they asked all kinds of questions. I have no problem with them asking questions. That is too close of a match versus a product you can pick up for $30. $60 for that paint, man, that's way too expensive. That paint should be coming in somewhere between maybe at a quart for what you could do now. You don't really have to buy. You can just buy it. In mind, this is Network Gray with nothing in it. This is pop the top, nothing in it at all. No black, no silver, no glitter, nothing. Just off the shelf. So, again, you don't put anything into it. At the end of the day, well, consider the fact that you'll save a lot of money. You're not saving hundreds here, you're losing money. And mind you, he's on a laser 4K projector. He's on a P2. And it's still, the Network Gray is still doing the exact same thing that his other Cinemax is doing. You can't use the excuse of saying, well, I got a low-grade projector, and, that's the reason why the image, well, here's the problem with that, too. When a projector hits the screen, it's not just hitting one part of the screen, it hits the entire screen. So if I'm hitting the screen with 5,000 lumens, all of it's being hit with 5,000 lumens, not just that particular part. Only way you can do that is you're doing projector mapping applications. You can pinpoint where you want the screen to go. Notice that every time he gets in front of the camera, he always blocks that surface. That's another thing they noticed when he was doing the demonstration. He constantly kept putting his hand up and blocking. There's no reason for him to be here at all. He brags about the white levels. Well, highest white levels is going to come from the SW, because it's much lighter than its product, so it's going to pull much higher white level. Look at that. Now, it'd be different if this product wasn't being sold on his website right now, but it is. Because he already got the money of the people he already robbed. He's worrying about the people. He's more concerned about the people who don't know at the end of the day, that never saw this demonstration. And that's why they hate it when we come on camera and we say, hey, look, customer for the first time buying, 2 things you need to ask for. You need to see a comparison of the difference between that and a white screen, and you need to see side-by-side demonstrations of that product versus a gray screen paint product, or even a black screen paint, or sorry, black screen product, or basically a gray screen. You have to see all that. This is why all our tests are posted to the site. And for anybody who feels at the end of the day that the demonstrations are fake, feel free to do them. Got no problem with you. Just go do the demonstrations. Well, how hard is that? I've had to ask that so many times. Look at this. Now, the reason why we tell you to ask these questions, because again, think about the people who bought this product believing what this man was saying out of his mouth. They end up watching a product that they could have it probably walked past a dozen times if they were in Sherwin-Williams or any great paint. They walked by a dozen times. They could have did the exact same thing, that other paint. One of the paints that this individual fears the most It's a paint called, and we're going to mention it. He don't like hearing the name of it. He really doesn't. He can't stand to hear that name. It's Amazon Slip Silver. You know why this is considered to be a very dangerous product to this individual? Number one, it's $46 a gallon, not $60 a quart. Number two, for the overseas customers, this is an extreme, amazing. Someone probably already did it already. The reason why is because he charges his overseas customers a $70 surcharge fee for that product. I imagine you spent a $70 surcharge fee to get a product over here, and you found that you could have ordered it on Amazon, had it shipped to your front door for free, and it does the exact same thing. You know how much money you would have saved at the end of the day? And at that, you're getting a gallon, not a quart, a gallon, at $46. Now, we've been asking him for 2 years to do the slip silver. He refuses to do it. Now, also, Jamie, I want you to understand, this has nothing to do with this. We don't care about your face being an image. You just happen to be in the image. It's not about your face. We're looking at this, not this, this. And for anybody else wants it, that's their business of the day. But for us, we're zoned in here, this area right there. Couldn't care less. If you chose to put your face in front of this nonsense, then that's you at the end of the day. Is there, wait a minute, there's an incident where he actually knocks the camera off the stand because he kept getting up and he kept fiddling with the camera. He kept putting his hand on and touching it. I'm like, what? Why are you touching the camera? Like, you only wipe the dust off like one time and you're done. But he just kept fiddling with it. See if we have that in here. I got a setup going on in the next room. I'm going to do that black, gray and white versus the paper, and we're going to do that. That's what I got set up in the next area. Yeah, this is right here, right in this area, where he does the demonstration with the snow levels. That was a bad idea. Yeah, see how light Sherwin-Williams is? It has a really good white level attached to it. And we knew it wasn't going to be an easy product to beat. It has an absolute perfect tone attached to it. Now, we know your naysayers are in the room. We know you're in here. I mean, they come in, they try to slip in. We know you're here. You know how sad that is? We're on a live stream and you're home and you slip in and slip out like someone actually knows you're there. Nobody knows you're here. I know you're here. You know why? Because if I mention certain keywords, and I do it on purpose sometimes on camera, and I watch people drop off, that's how we know you're in here. A customer who wants to know is not going to drop off because he hears certain keywords. Only people that get affected by that. That's like if somebody took something out of somebody's locker. People that are guilty react differently when they mention what was in the locker. But other people don't react to it because they don't know what was in the locker and they don't care and they weren't in there. It's easy to get trigger off guilty people. They're the ones that'll speak first and come up with the most excuses. Easy to read that body language. Here we go. Look at that. There's nothing at all, period. Now, he'll think of it as, well, actually it goes both ways at the end of the day. He gets mad because he feels that we're slamming him. Buddy, you should be slammed. Look at this. This is crazy. But this is the reason why when I come out there and say that customers need to ask these questions, even from us. I'm not saying just from them, even from us. This is the perfect poster child why it should be done. Because somebody went on YouTube, sold a whole bunch of house paint to customers. It had no testing behind it. They stuck it in a dark environment, hit it with a 4K projector, faked the demonstrations left and right, and then when they had to do a demonstration versus house paint, they refused to do that. The customers pressured him into doing the demonstrations. That's why you can see him now. And this is what happens in the results. So now you consider all that talk about the Cinemax being this and being that and blah, 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 blah. Now what is it? I mean, you got a house paint that can match it. If somebody else would have done this demonstration and they would have matched, we were using them as an example. He just happened to be the only one to do the demonstration. You got to give him kind of low hands up for that one. He actually did do the demonstration, but you can see why they don't want to do it. And from the other people who make these products, by watching what he just went through, you think you're going to do it? No. Now, like I said, ranting on my account, carrying on acting up, it's all for nothing, Jamie, at the end of the day. I just go in and go click and just remove you, just like that. You're right, all that stuff for what? For me to just go over to a mouse and just click the option and delete you. None of your stuff ever gets read. Unless I pop it open, that's how it gets read. But we're used to seeing the same old nonsense. As a matter of fact, depending on how much mail we receive from you, tells at the end of the day how much damage you took in. Doing eco mode. There's no point in doing eco mode on your projector if you're sitting in the dark. Locks the screen again. This is the reason why, because of this video, he will never do another gray screen paint versus this product, ever. And he's not going near that microblend. That stuff is very dangerous. It's a product that anyone can get access to, even overseas, easily. Overseas, I'm not saying what you don't have and what you do have. Some people don't have Sherwin-Williams. Some people don't have this and don't have that. Some people just don't have that. Some people do have all of it, you know? Some people may have it, and it may be harder for them to get to A to B to get that product. But with the microblend, you could just go on your cell phone and go doop, 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 and that's it. That's what makes it dangerous. That's why you won't see the test ever done. See how the camera fell over? Or was that a commercial? My fault, my bad. I apologize for that one. That is actually a commercial. Ready to skip. There we go. There we go. See it? So he picks it back up. Yeah, because he was fiddling with the camera. Where is that at? What number is that at? Because I can never find that. Where he fiddled with the camera, he knocked it over. I can never figure out where that's at. I need to write down. Oh, my ink pen right here. Oh, I never find an ink pen right here. So I got some people. Oh, that's my new cell phone. I got some people coming in today to take pictures of the screen. Some from AT&T. They want to come down and check it out. This is why I got to get the showroom done. If I get the showroom done, I can bring in all these high execs. I can pass out business cards. I can say, hey, come here. This is where we got the screens at. They can come in and check it out and see it. Oh, I cannot wait. I'm figuring at the end of the year, God willing, maybe, I don't know yet. I don't know. We could become on our way to a millionaire. Then I got this lawsuit coming up with these people messed up my lungs. That's going to give us major capital. Man, I'm going to get me a motorized projection screen. I'm getting one, but my company's logo on it. And yes, I had somebody say that, and I'm not trying to be rude. We don't believe that God has blessed us. We know God has blessed us. That's how I see it. All my technology I got is given from our Lord and Savior. That's why you see the devil over and over again try to destroy it. He can't destroy it. He'll never ever be destroyed. He'll try, but you will never ever be to take what God has given to me. As much as hard as you try, you will never be to do this. I will always have victory. As long as I'm doing everything right by him and I'm walking in the right path and trying to do things the right way, the best is my knowledge, he is always going to bless us. See, the sad thing about people at the end of the day, and I'm not saying all people, but sad people like this, when you're a Christian, it goes beyond basically the house paint. It goes beyond the money. It goes beyond what you're able to achieve in life. It goes way beyond that. I'm not making a mark here on the earth. I'm making, my time comes, I'm making my mark in heaven. Because when I die off this earth, this stuff don't mean jack to me. Then they ain't gonna help me when I'm up there talking to the man upstairs. I can't, that's wrong to say. I'm calling the man upstairs. I'm also just disrespectful to God. It doesn't basically help you with that. Period. So I'm blessed. I put my faith in him, and he allows me to be able to have what I need for my company and what is deserving for me to have. And when my time goes, I've already made my place in heaven. It isn't about all this at the end of the day for me. This is what I'm doing on the earth while I'm here. But I make my place in heaven. I don't have time to be going out and making memes and nasty curse words and other. I did kind of go off the rails. I did in one video demonstration. I did go off the rails. I really went in on this guy. This guy was taunting me for freaking like 6 years, and I kind of held that in for a long time. I literally could have said that at any given time on camera, but I said, no, we're not going to do that. And you know, sometimes you get enough of people where they just don't know their boundaries. This fellow doesn't know boundaries. He steps outside of these boundaries. And I mean, I can't post people that I'm doing business with on my site because this individual will contact these people and harass them. The fellow by the name of Hector, he's a true blue Christian, a good man at the end of the day. He bought a lot of our products, did a lot of nice demonstrations. This guy went and harassed him. Literally posted him to his website, carried on and acted up. That's the kind of stuff this guy does. That's why his day is coming. When I see him in court, it's lights out. He's done. He's finished. We're going to get rid of him once and for all. He doesn't know boundaries. Businesses at the end of the day are going to have rivals. They always do. It's been going on since the beginning of time. But you have to know respect and boundaries, and he doesn't know them. So what we have to do is now we have to go to court. Because then you will learn boundaries the hard way, because it'll come out of your pocket, and it basically you can have your freedom taken from it. But he'll learn. You got to learn the hard way. He doesn't know boundaries. If you have business contacts, I couldn't care less about contact. I really don't care at the end of the day. That is your business, your business. I think you should be truthful and honest with them. I think demonstrations like this should be posted to your website. If you sat there long enough on camera explaining all this at the end of the day, then where are the videos at? This should be posted directly to your site so your customers can make a decision, he or she, if this is going to work best for them. But this guy just goes way beyond boundaries and does some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen. I've never seen people act this way in the 12 years I've been in business. I'd have never seen, me in Mississippi, man, used to have discussions back and forth. We had arguments, we had debates, everything. I never once seen that man make a meme or basically stalk me from taking pictures inside of him. Never do stuff like that. Sonic chill, same kind of respect. We had little discussions back and forth. He never did anything like that. Any of the people that I talked to in those particular times never did stuff like that to each other. Only this one and the other one. They do that mess. They're not professionals at the field. If you look at the website, they don't take the website serious. They don't take the business serious. You think it ticks me off because you got an image of our cube up there. That doesn't bother me at the end of the day. I'm taking you to court. That's what I'm suing you for. I'm not worried about that. We'll settle that when we get before the judge. But the thing about it is you're making your site look unprofessional by putting that up there. Some people don't even know who the freak we are at the end of the day. So they see it up there. What's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to go to my website. Have you seen a comparison of my website versus his? My website is massive. They're clearly going to stay on my page, and they're not coming back to yours. They're going to bookmark mine. They'll bookmark yours. So you bring me business at the end of the day, both of you. They're not professional. Oh, this is a demonstration, right? We're talking about white screen versus gray screen. Yeah, this is one of the demonstrations that's missing. This is the benefit of the white screen. This is done by this fellow. There you go. That is Jamie walking up with a white eBay projection screen versus his product. That video got deleted quick. those you're saying that, well, that's not him. Oh, yes, it is. There he is right there. On camera. His product will match a white screen. There's no benefit in it.
So that means we can post the original demonstration, like I'm doing right now, to show people this is it.
See his title, gray screen paint? That's $23 a gallon. Gray screen paint at $23 a gallon versus Sherwin-Williams. This is why this has to be done. Because again, you'll spend all that money and then find out that you can't basically go in, and that's us right there. And you can't go in, you can't do jack about it, because again, you could have basically just painted over it with our technology, but you went with that technology and it does the same thing as a white screen. You pretty much just gave yourself a slight little upgrade on your white screen. That's it. I have no idea what the lights are for. We were in form sites. Everybody else was like, what the frick are the lights for? I thought the demonstration was going to be done with the lights on, and maybe he was going to bring down the screen over top of it and show where his screen produces a little better, but he turned the lights off. So again, I don't know. Marker. Now, I don't want this individual to feel like, oh, he's just picking on you. No one's just picking on you. You just have to be the only one. Actually, it's another person got caught up in that nonsense too, with white screens matching gray screens. Phantom HD. Yeah, the valve mess. Gee whiz, my goodness. He got robbed. He literally got openly robbed. He bought a projector. Again, doesn't even have 4K capabilities. We all know that. No way in the world is going to maintain 150-inch at picture shifting, so that's not going to happen, because they're going to need a smaller image to compress. And then a projector at 3,000:1 contrast, that is extremely poor, especially for up-to-date ultra short, though. That's very poor. And then watching that screen come down and it matched the screen, I was like, gee, I didn't know the match was coming that well. It was very well. Not only did it match the screen, it matched the gray wall behind it. So I'm like, man, that was a waste of money. So he literally just, at the end of the day, he wanted people to believe that he had knowledge of screen paint. So he didn't have any knowledge. We took your credibility away just like that. And the reason why we snatched it so quick from him, because you didn't know what you're talking about. I knew more about the valve projector than you knew about it. They don't even have to buy it. I basically researched at the end of the day. That projector got sued by Epson because they lied and said they were 6,000 lumens at one point, and they found that the projector was 1,800. It doesn't have the capability for 4K. The contrast is extremely poor because it's 3,000:1. You wanted to talk about the NEC projector I had on the floor. My NEC is 4,000:1 contrast at 3,600 lumens. It's way more powerful than your projector. I can set my projector right next to a valve projector. I can wash your screen out because you're 18, I'm 36. I can easily overpower that screen. I don't need my surface to do that, to overpower the screen. I just have a higher lumen count. And that projector costs $60. Another problem, the valve screen. He spent $700 for that screen. He got duped right there in that demonstration because, again, that screen can't see contrast. Mine can see contrast, and mine costs less than $700. And at that, my customers can paint a 150-inch screen. You can't do that. A 150-inch screen, 120-inch of that screen costs $1,000. What's 150 gonna cost you? And then they made it light gray. They made it so light gray that it blends into a white screen. So you got a projector. They can't go back to the projector and say, well, the projector pulls a high contrast. It'll fix the problem with the screen having a low ability to be able to pull contrast. No, the projector's 3,000 to 1 contrast. That's bad. He got robbed. I mean, literally robbed on that one. Gee whiz Louise. Could have went out and just gotten on top of that. V-VIII projector is a 1080p base projector, it's not 4K. I haven't got that in writing from the author itself, from the website, from the people who actually were advertising and promoting the product. Now, we had, when I first started talking about the JM Go projector, and we had people in there ranting and carrying on. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't own the projector. Just have to be careful about running your mouth on my channel. If y'all not learned that yet already, that you will get embarrassed. Like literally, you will seriously get embarrassed. What happened? What happened? I literally got a statement from the company itself, right there, the author of the company itself, stating the projector is 1080p base. So all you people on my channel crying and whining about how I need to buy the projector first. Yeah, you bought the projector. I didn't. Guess what? Who didn't get to rob at the end of the day? I didn't lose any money on that projector. I asked questions and got information. You got to know how to answer, say the right questions to them, because then they know at the end of the day, they're not dealing with an average Joe projector. They're dealing with somebody who knows what he's talking about, and they can't pull that nonsense on them. So they're going to have to go open and tell me the truth. That's, your guys ask questions at the end of the day who bought that projector. They be like, oh, we can get over on them easily. We just go in and just say whatever, this, that, and the other, and they'll believe it. And that's what happened. You guys sucked it up. I'm talking about not everybody, but I'm talking about the particular individual who bought that projector, was on my channel ranting, and you bought that projector. Now, how you feel now feeling that projector is 1080p base? How's that kicking you? Yeah, it's real bad. And I had a couple of your customers contact me about how to help your projector, because again, you can't put that on gunmetal. Those projectors don't produce. You can't put it on our technology. It doesn't produce. What are you stuck with? Gray screen and white screen. And those screens can't produce color, contrast, and they're not ambient light rejection. So everything you saw in the promo, you can't do, because the promo was fake. So now you're contacting my company thinking we can help you out. I'm going to tell you, we cannot help you out. We don't support it. So good luck with your investment that you just spent money on at the end of the day to have fake specifications attached to it. As a matter of fact, if you went out and bought the ViewSonic, it's the same model. It's 1,000 lumens. It has enough power to run off our screens with no problem. And it's native 4K. And it costs less. Could have bought that instead. Oh well. I sit there and tell people this stuff. Come on now. Don't get on there and just rant and carry on about how you think 4K pixel shifting is real. No, I'm sorry, people. It is not real. Get over it. Go buy yourself a real projector, a real 4K projector. And they got on my channel ranting and carrying on, and screaming and yelling to me, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know the projector. It's 4K. It's 4K. How do you feel now when I posted that on my Facebook right there, telling you that the projector is 1080p base? That's what you bought. Over glorified 1080p projector. And not even a good one at that. See, that's why those people who sat back and say, you know, I'm going to listen to what Mr. Bird got to say, and let's see what happens. Those people save money. To the rest of you jokers that jumped onto that bandwagon to get that projector, well, good luck on that one. Don't contact me. At the end of the day, we can't help you. You're stuck. Can't help you. That projector, we can't support that thing. It won't work. I'm not going to sell you something at the end of the day. It's not going to work. I got bills to pay just like everybody else, but I'm not selling you that. That's why we got a list on there telling you what we don't support. And those people who do support those knockoff fake projectors, you're just the biggest scammer as basically the company itself that sells them. That's why we got a blacklist to warn customers at the end of the day to keep them from getting robbed. This is why people like to support these projectors, because they're doing the same thing themselves. Oh, let's get over here real quick. I'm talking about whatchamacallit. Black and white. That's freaking crazy. I told you, like I said, it's nothing new, because again, as I told you before, that at the end of the day, we'll be in time here with past time again. We're always past time. There's so much stuff to talk about. It's not even funny. But anyway, as I said before, now with the new technology we have now, a gray screen is an obsolete screen. It's not going to give your white screen any improvement. It's not going to upgrade it. You know how things work for me, people. I don't like to talk about things at the end of the day. I like to back them up. See, that's the difference when I talk about when we get people who want to cry and whine, send me messages. Instead of you crying and whining all day, you got time to sit there and write, what, 10, 15 messages in something like 12 minutes? Then you need to take your lazy behind out. Go to the store, go pick up some great paint, stick that against your product, and do a live demonstration to show people the difference between your product and other great paints. But apparently, while I'm up here working at night getting things done, you're ranting on my channel like a 16-year-old that got dropped at the prom. They go to the prom at 16? Or is it 18? I don't even know. But anyway, you're still giving up that kind of vibe. All right. There's a story of a lovely lady. She was living with 3 girls. It was 5 girls? Yes, 5. It's 10 on 10. Got that one mixed up. All right, let's fix on this side. We're good on this side for a minute. Let's see what's going on here. Fire stick is having issues. Oh, all right, now we're working. Oh, that's a new one. The fire stick. When I told you that fire sticks are buggy, I'm not joking. Look at that. You can clearly see my menu right there. That's crazy. They're buggy as I don't know what. All right, there we go. So, this right here, let me turn our lights on, people. Oh yeah, we're supposed to be one with the summer. Why don't I have this one? This area's not even dark enough for that. But anyway, I guess it worked. I was supposed to have earlier for this, but I slept late again. So let's adjust this a little better. A little sharper, there we go. Now that blue tab you're seeing, that right there is a white surface. My walls, as I said before, anybody who feels at the end of the day that I'm just lying on camera and you feel that me making a statement saying that my gray walls would either match or come extremely close to your screen paints, if you feel that's a lie, feel free to shoot me an email. Just shoot me an email or call me. Give me your website, I'll go buy from you and I'll put you against the wall. Now, just want to give you fair warning what may happen. If you do match that wall, this is going to drop your product by a lot in price. Because again, what would be the point of someone going out and buying your product when that great paint sitting on my wall will do the exact same thing? Also, too, your specification sheets will be turned to trash. Because again, anything you said about the product on this and that and have special capabilities, and if a wall paint can match it, that's out the window. Okay, just want to give that fair warning real quick. So that's why, if you notice, when I go in and check my videos, we don't find anybody linked to the bottom because nobody wants to take that risk. So until then, this is your product. So there's a gray wall right there. That's the tab, the white surface. Let's go over to YouTube. Because I don't like to get on camera and say something and not back it up. So that's why I come here and back it up. It's nice today, man. We got a nice little breeze outside. It's nice today. Let's start off with some colors first. All right. Let's start off with blue. All right. So there's blue. Now let's go over to our screen here. Adjustments a little bit on here too. You need to be. There we go. A little bit crooked here. That's great. Okay. Oh, we're going to be putting up our list of the screen paint collections that we will be making. We do have another one coming up. Actually, we got 3 of them that will be coming up probably in the coming months that will be showing off and testing. So that's going to be interesting to see on top of that. So we'll be showing off more of the collection. So as you can see, I like to have my lights on. Sorry, people, I need to have lights on. So dark. So down. There we go. That's better. That's much better. All right. All right, there we go. That works better for me. I like to have lights on. I can't stand being in dark environments. It just bugs me. I have ambient light projection technologies. Like I got to be able to utilize it. I was looking at a screen that produces 100% block. You got to show it off, but All right, so there you go. There's what our difference between our product and how upgrading your white screen. And then we'll go over to the gray wall. As you can see, my wall's gray because you can look at my trim here. And I need to bring this down a little bit. Hoping my feet didn't come up on camera. The reason why I told you before, we got a bit of a stalker. So that's why. We have a person who takes pictures of me constantly all the time. It's creepy, but it is what it is. All right. So let's go with the red screen. Now, as I said before, when we're done with this demonstration, we're going to do something called a white surface to gray surface challenge, which means it's a very easy one. Anyone who has a gray screen, you go out and you take yourself a white sheet of paper and you stick that against your screen. Now, you can't walk over to the screen. You have to show us the difference from a distance. We want to see a change in the screen like this. We need to see a difference between night and day. You see that? That's what I want to see. Oops, I'm going to trip over and kill myself on these wires. This is what I want to see. I don't want to see a hiccup. I don't want to see a bump in the road. I want to see a difference between night and day. Literally, when we say this statement, we have to explain to people. I'm sorry, this is not to be rude toward anybody else or to belittle you in any way. It's not towards you. We literally have to explain this to some people because they don't understand the concept of night and day. So to the people who don't understand this, let me explain this to you. I think I'm going to do that more often because I don't want people to think I'm insulting at the end of the day. For the people who do not understand what a night and day concept means. When you walk outside at nighttime, what do you call it? Nighttime or daytime? So you know the difference between the two. There's a massive difference. That's what we need to see. Because I literally will have people come on here and show a hiccup on a screen and go, look, there's a difference. No, that doesn't work that way. That's the problem why you're seeing a lot of people make products and they're matching. And because if there's a slight little difference, they consider that the earth being knocked off its axles. That's a huge change. That is considered to be a difference because there's a slight, no, it doesn't work that way. A difference is that is a difference. The same thing like the couch scenario. People see a couch, one costs $1,000, one costs $200. The one that costs $200, if it's a little off in the red, it's a little close, but not as, it doesn't look exactly, let's just say, just put it this way. If it looks close enough to the $1,000 projector, so you're saying lumens, they will buy the cheaper one because they know they can get away with it. Well, how are they going to know? So we're going to have it in the dark. People are really going to know it's like really not the same color, I mean, we can get away with that. They will literally do that. But if you literally come out there with two couches and you can clearly see there's a serious difference between one and the other, they'll spend that money for the $1,000 because they know they can't get away with it. And know at the end of the day what they really want. But if they can get away with it, I mean, almost like, okay, I can deal with this. I can settle with this. I'll take that one. That's what they'll do. So when they see this, they see a massive difference between when red pops up on our screen versus a white screen, where on the gray screen, you see a slight little hiccup. Slight little hiccup. I gotta get close to shirt. Oh, gee whiz. Ain't gonna work either. Yeah, about there. You can see a slight little hiccup. Now, mind you, I'll show you the projector we're sitting on. We're sitting on that's a 720p over there. So we are sitting on right now. This right here is my Chrissy LWU501i. I give you that so that way you can look up the projector if you choose to. So you can see what we're using in our demonstration. That is a 5,000 lumen projector, 1920 by 1200, and it's a WUXGA projector. These are venues, they're like commercial projectors. My projector is a little interesting. It's really old. I prefer older projectors. Do you know that I have temperature control, if I can figure out where it's at, in my projector? It's right there. It actually tells me the temperature. Usually older projectors are pretty cool. They got some pretty crazy options. I have no idea which button this is to press for temperature control. I don't know if it's on a controller or what. Let me see. Oh, function. There we go. So I can actually get the temperature of what's going on in my projector. HMI 1, 1920. Right now we're running from the Fire Stick from here. And right here it tells you what my temperature in my projector is right now. Is that pretty cool? Yep. Chrissy projectors have all kinds of cool options attached to them. That's why I buy them. And that projector costs 270 bucks. Some people don't even know what the temperature of their projector is pushing out. We do know on our machine because they have the LCDs on the back. Not all of that particular model has it. All right. Purple screen. Yeah, let's get this one instead. There we go. There's the CEO over there. I gotta put his tie on him. He likes his tie now. Used to hate that thing. Now you see how I'm doing this demonstration right here? This is a demonstration. Some of the demonstrations how we're going to show off our products in showrooms. So when the backers come in, this is the kind of stuff that we do. When people are going to come to the apartment, they look at the screens. This is some of the stuff we're going to do. I might as well invite them over until I get the showroom, right? Let's go with green screen. So that shows you, if you have a white projection screen, how much color that you're actually gaining from our technology versus a gray surface. Now I showed you the YouTuber who did the side-by-side with the gray versus white, and you really didn't see much, did you? Gray screens also have a very difficult time working with high lumen projectors because instead of absorbing light, they reflect it, which is actually extremely bad. Okay, and then we'll switch over here. Change it back over. All right, let's get Starfield screensaver. Contrast levels here. As I said before, gray screens don't have the capability to do that. We're in a full lit environment. Keep in mind, there's no dark corners and the environment is nice and bright. See? Now, anytime I watch a demonstration on, especially ultra short throw projectors, how come y'all backgrounds don't look like this? How come I always got to deal with these dark backgrounds at the end of the day? How come y'all never do demonstrations in a background with this much light? Y'all never do that. Why is that? You're running an ultra short throw. You're sitting right on top of the screen at 3,000 lumens, sometimes 2,000. You don't even need 3,000 lumens to use an ultra short throw. You can do it at 1,000 lumens. You know that, right? You're sitting inches away from the screen. Why would you need 3,000 lumens to begin with? Really, seriously, it's overkill. 36 is overkill. It's way overkill. You're right on top of the screen. If you're doing something of a projector of a long throw, then yeah, that's why long throw projectors have massive amount of lumens due to the fact they have to travel a longer distance and they have to fight through 10 times more ambient light than a projector that's sitting a foot away from a screen. There's nothing conflicting with the distance throw. So you don't have to be at 3,000 lumens. You can do it at 900. That's just overkill. Not even necessary. $4K snow screensavers. Oh, we can't forget those, can we? Well, if you're gonna play with me nicely, 4K snow screensavers. There we go. Now, judging by people who claim themselves having our products, remember, you've claimed you had them. Anyway, that means when we turn to the black screen, we shouldn't be to see anything at all, right? Nothing should come up because our screen paints don't show white levels. Well, here's the kicker. You can't show color without white levels. You need both. So we'll switch you over. Voila! There you go. This is what we find most impressive. People, when we show black screens, they're not impressed with the fact that it pulls contrast, because any black surface can pull contrast. They're more impressed that the screen can see and accept white light. Now, for those of you who decide to make a darker mix because you want to be to produce contrast levels, well, that's when your nightmare starts. Because again, you're going to have to do a lot of demonstrations showing that that darker mix has the ability to be to maintain near white levels, which means you're going to have to be to knock out certifieds too. You do know that's included, right? You have to be to beat a certified screen and multiple certified screens. At 1,000, you have to do them in ultra short throw. Of course, you have the special ones for that one. And you have to do it at 5,000. So it means you're going to have to spend some money and buy some projectors to do that demonstration. Because if you're going to say that your product is gunmetal, anyone, and I mean anyone who makes the claim that their product is gunmetal, you can't make that claim unless you actually can beat gunmetal. So you can't make that statement either. Gunmetal is a whole different category of technology. It isn't what you call charcoal gray paint at the end of the day. It's something completely different. And the reason why I know this because I have done enough tests on gunmetal and certified screens to last me a lifetime. I have more experience in that field than a lot of people because they don't do those tests because they fear that technology. So you can't call yourself gunmetal unless you actually can beat gunmetal. And one of the gunmetals you'll have to go against is a black diamond screen. If anyone were to ask me, like I said, not a big fan of the man's work. I'm not a big fan of the fellow at the end of the day, his personality altogether on how he treated us. No, not a big fan of him, but I do respect good technology when I see it. And if anyone ever to ask me, out of all the certified screens we tested, which one I consider to be the best, it'd be the black diamond. It's an amazing piece of technology. Extremely hard to beat. But we were able to conquer it. Our black technology, easy walk over that with no problem. But to people that are making claims that they have gunmetal, before you can make that statement, you have to knock out every single gunmetal screen, including the diamond itself. And we're not talking about demonstrations sitting in dark environments because that technology has ambient light attached to it. You're going to have to do this in fully lit environments. You're going to have to do this on all different calibers of projectors. Of course, you have to go out and buy the sample sheet that they have for ultra short throw, because I'm pretty sure I have an ultra short throw version. They should. You can't use the long throw version for ultra short throws because they don't pick up. Can't use those. You have to buy special surfaces that they have for ultra short throw, like we did in all our tests. Now, if anyone's going to sit there at the end of the day and say, hey, I can't test, well, show me why. Because I don't want to hear any lies at the end of the day. People say, well, I can't test because, no, we can show you why we can't test against screen innovation. Show me why you can't. Then if you can't, there's no excuse for it. I even was talking to the fellow, I forgot his name was, Dream Media, I think it was. Yeah, we showed emails back and forth. We're having conversations with him back and forth. And we requested the Dragonfly. Never got it. We never got it. And I know a reason why we never got it. But we can show you proof. Anything I say on camera, I can back it up. Now, if you darken your mix at the end of the day, what's going to happen is, like I said, a ton of demonstrations you have to do. If it falls dark enough in the area where you can consider it gunmetal, you're going to have to test against all gunmetal technology. Oh, it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. And you'll have to do all demonstrations live, which means you cannot fail one time. Oh, that kind of, we just saw a whole bunch of people just leave the room and we know why. Yeah, a lot of work, ain't it? Yeah, that'll teach you to respect what we do at the end of the day. Okay, let's move to something else. Let's go with the Snow Cottage 4K. Look, people who do these fake demonstrations, your gravy train is done. It's getting derailed. That's what's going to happen to it. We're going to teach customers what to ask for when it comes to buying products. Because again, I feel sorry for a customer who comes up there, they don't know much, they're learning for the first time, and they bump into one of you jackals at the end of the day that are doing demonstrations in dark environments and they're matching house paint left and right. You're robbing them. If you don't have any demonstrations on your products before you sold them, if you can't show basic comparisons on a day-to-day basis, then you have a product that is a fake. Let's get them snow levels. I love when people sit there and say, we got a 5,000 on projector. It makes no difference. Gray wall got 5,000 too. And so does the white screen. All right, let's come over here. Ooh, talk about getting snowblind. Gee whiz Louise. Beautiful women, 4K. Yeah, all products need to be tested. People get mad when I say that. Oh, that's not right. What's not right about it? Honestly, tell me what is not right with the customer getting test results on his product before he or she buys it. What's wrong with that? I think the customers would agree with me 100% about that. I don't think they'd argue about that. I've never met a customer ever that sat there and said, oh, dagnammit, I don't want to freaking buy that product. It's been tested. As you can see, there you go. If you want to get a little closer to show you how close it matches a gray screen, there you go. So in order for you to see a difference, you have to be all the way up here as he was in order to see the difference. Yeah, thought so. Now let's go take that. Even the walls are the wrong color. All right, so basically bottom line is, as I told you before, there's no difference between a white screen and a gray screen. They're both similar to the same. You're not going to see a change between night and day. We're going to put up the challenge for you guys. All right, I got to hook up the sound system. All right, got to go. Hope you enjoyed, and God bless.